Yo, still Mills, what's the deal, man? We back. It's Monday. Hell of an eventful weekend, man. I got a little bit of footage from the parade. We had a real eventful day on Saturday, man. Some of my in-laws moved up to Iowa, Des Moines, Iowa, from LA. So we went up there and kicked it with them for a little, indigenous festival up there. And we got on the road right after we left the parade. You talking about a nigga being exhausted, boy. God damn. So we did that, man. And but the parade was all the way live, man. Just, it really felt like big city vibes out there that day, man. It felt like you was in Chicago, LA, New York, Miami. Ghost from Power was in town. Fucking D Smoke was here. It was a lot of Clarissa. I saw a shorty on the little float that Bud was sitting on with Bo Mack and them, Andre Ward, Shakur Stevenson. It was real festive up here this weekend, man. It was just a beautiful thing. Wasn't no drama. You dig? Usually when up here, just like in any other city, where just is niggas who love nigging at. You go, it comes with the territory. You know what I'm saying? So if it's a whole bunch of motherfuckers outside, you're gonna come across somebody that you don't fuck with. Or somebody gonna bump into you wrong, or you gonna just anything is gonna create some sort of chaotic situation where it's gonna cause a reaction out of a motherfucker. None of that happened. It was a beautiful and festive weekend until that night, which is what I'm about to talk about, man. OPD is on bullshit, and they've always been on bullshit, man. They've always been on bullshit I'm talking about from the days of Mondo Wiyanga and Eddie Poindexter. You dig? Those were Panthers up here. You dig? Mondo Wiyanga died. He died a political prisoner. Eddie Poindexter is still a political prisoner. They've been locked up since the 70s. You dig? Police bum rushed their house, and allegedly they let them tell it they planted a bomb in the house and blew two cops up, or one cop or whatever. And because of that, one of them died in prison, and the other one is going to die in prison. So OPD has always had some, just law enforcement here is just always had a shady past. Law enforcement in itself is just a shady, sketchy thing, man. It's fucked up. It's fucked up, and now they just let shit slide. Whether you're talking about the William Brown situation, everybody is seeing it. For the two of you who watch me. There's a picture of a man during the 20s. It was I think it was 1919, and it's one of the most infamous pictures in American history. And it's a man, it's a group of white men standing around a burning body, and it's a burning black man. It's just literally this man set on fire. His name was William Brown. That happened at the courthouse up here in Omaha, Nebraska. They locked him up. And they, because he allegedly raped a white woman, let her tell it, and it was a lynch mob that started on the south side, like South 13th Street, and they marched from there to the courthouse, which is just a straight shot down practically, and they burned that bitch to the ground. They burnt it. They tried to save him. They tried to do everything they could to save him, but they wasn't going for it. And he's telling them the whole time, "I didn't do it. I 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 didn't do it." And they just wasn't hearing of it, man. They wasn't hearing of it. They drug him out, and they looted, local pawn shops or whatever to grab firearms. They came back to the courthouse. They shot that bitch to shit. They shot it the fuck up. And you dig, the lanterns, that was outside to give, light to the surrounding areas. They just started throwing them at the courthouse, and they burnt that bitch down to the ground where they had no other choice but to turn this dude over. They had no choice but to turn him over. So when they brought him out, they shot him. And I think actually it was, I forget who it was. It was some political figure up here, but he tried to stop it, and they strung him up from a tree as well. He just so happened to get away. They let him go or whatever. But they lynched him, shot his body all up, and then burned him. That's one of the most infamous pictures in in American history. But trick this, one of the dudes who allegedly had something to do with that became a state senator up here. So that just speaks to the the level of dastardly and demented and demonic activity that resides up here in Omaha, Nebraska with our political system, man. And this shit just ain't gonna never stop, man. Whether you're talking about a Marvin Ammons, rest in peace to Marvin Ammons, man. It's just a lot of they've always been on buster shit. Just, you know, just like in any other city. Just like in any other city, man. So for what happened with Champ was just, you know, it's just unfathomable, man. Like, I don't get, like, I went and I looked at Coach Malachi's video about it. I didn't get to watch all of it, but I watched enough of it to get an idea, because I know Kasim is about 6 foot, you know, the 6'3" brother. He's the head of Bud's security team. He's the big brown skinned brother who walks Bud out to the ring or whatever, and he's with him. That is the chief of his security team. When Bud fights, he's leading the charge. If Bud was drunk or anything, Kasim wouldn't allow him to be in the driver's seat. He wouldn't have allowed to be him in the drive. That just wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have happened. And when someone is telling you, I have a gun in the car, why is this shit all necessary? I don't understand that, man. I don't understand that. I get it. It could be a part of procedure. But first off, y'all know this dude. And how do I know y'all know him? Because he had literally just had a parade that day. All the downtown was shut down on his behalf. The mayor of the city, John Ewan, is there. All law enforcement was out there thick. SWAT was out there. They had snipers on the roof. So you're not about to sit here and tell me you don't know who this man is. I just, you know, that you got me fucked up. You didn't know who this nigga was. And even if it is procedure, man, at some point you have to be able to exercise discretion and situational awareness. If someone is telling you, I have a gun in the car, I'm a legal gun owner, I have a registered gun in the car, you drawing down on the nigga ain't necessary. Why? Because he's telling you. If a motherfucker ain't gonna do no stupid shit like that, if a motherfucker if they got their heart set on doing some dumb shit, they not gonna give you warning that, yo, I'm about to, I'm finna up it and bang it on you. They're not gonna do that. This man is out celebrating his career milestone, and y'all just found a way to fuck that shit up. At least the nightcap of it, man. You dig? And I just think that shit is deplorable, man. Like, you can't tell me you didn't know who this dude was. And even what Coach Malachi was saying, the other dude, the other officer, his partner, I don't know who he was, but he came on the side, and as soon as he came, he's like, fuck. On some, bro, do you not know who this is right here? And the dude, just the dude who drew down on, who was on Bud's side of the door, he drew down, he was like on somebody, he ain't know who he was. You knew who he was. You just wanted to flex on the nigga. And that's corny. That's hella corny, man. To my recollection, Bud ain't never, he's never, lambasted the police union up here, nothing like that. He's never done that. I could be wrong, but to my recollection, he's never done that. And for y'all to sit there and do that shit to that man while that man is celebrating a career milestone and something as monumental as beating Canelo Alvarez off a year layoff and jumping up 2 divisions from the division that you just fought at, didn't even really campaign at, that's something that's to be celebrated. You're not about to say, there's no way you're gonna sit here and tell me you did not know who this man was. There's no excuse you can give as to, I didn't know who he was. Bullshit, my nigga, you're lying. You're lying. This dude has been in the public eye really like that since he beat Spence. That's when he really got his weight up, when he went in there and he did what he did to Spence. But now that he's done what he's done to Canelo, because Canelo was a way bigger entity than Spence, that's really heightened his profile as far as being some sort of a figure in the media. This dude has walked out the Huskers. He's consistently in the Huskers. Now, mind you, like I don't follow football, man, but the Huskers, to my recollection, ain't been shit up here for years. And he consistently walks them out. He's everywhere. He's everywhere. But you just so happen to not know who he is. You the one motherfucker up here who live under a rock, and you got the nerve to have a badge. You dig? And this is why this is why black and blue have such a fucking, such a tumultuous relationship, man. It's just never gonna be harmony between our two communities. It just isn't. That's why I don't like white police officers in particular in black areas. When I go to Omaha Day, it's far more white police officers than there are black ones. And granted, there's far more white people here than it is black people, but I just feel like, just hire security teams. Have your law enforcement there, whatever the case may be, but it needs to be a much more stronger black presence, knowing that, yo, we got the best interests of the people at heart. So we ain't just here for a payday. We here to watch over all the brethren and see to it that y'all enjoy yourselves. I don't like it, man. I don't like it. And I just feel like that was, you was really trying to flex and get on some dumb shit. But it's never going to be unity. It's never going to be some sort of harmony. It's never going to be some sort of peace. Because while you may not, those around you may not be as demonstrative as you are, the fact of the matter is they still going to come to your aid. They're still going to come to your aid. They're still going to back you. They're going to still hold that wall, that blue line of silence. They're going to do that. They're gonna do that. But what will make you just draw down on a nigga after he done told you, yo, I'm a registered gun owner? And then Bub, he said you was speeding, and Bub, okay, well, how fast was I going? This is what Coach Malachi said, because Coach Malachi was in the car. How fast was I going? I was driving fast. How fast was I going? The dude has his hands up. Don't reach for the gun. Stop. I'm not reaching for the gun. What the fuck are you talking about? Stop reaching for the gun. I'm not reaching for the gun. You know I'm not reaching for the gun. How do you know that? Because you see both of my hands. Kasim is telling him, hey man, release your weapon. Take it, man. Listen, if you want my weapon released, you're gonna have to release it for me. So you can't pull no fast one on me talking about he was reaching for his weapon and give you grounds to shoot me. Think about how twisted that is, man. Just think about how twisted that is. That's fucked up. That's fucked up, man. That was a beautiful day earlier that day. It was beautiful, man. Y'all turn around and do some busted shit like that later on in the night, man. I can't stand for that shit. And I never will, man. Like, I've just, I've matured in the past few years, because it was a point in time I was like, man, fuck all of y'all. And I looked at black men who joined police force and black women who joined that, that institution. Like, how can you go over there and side with these niggas, man? You just, when you know what the institution is stemmed off of, how can you join that? But if we got to be real, we need some sort of law enforcement. We honestly do. We do. We do. Just law enforcement, though. Just. But man, how dare you sit up there and draw down on this dude after you don't know who he is, huh? You just don't know who he is. Okay. You don't have to wake me up early on in the day to get me to believe that, man. I thought that was real. That was just a deplorable thing to do, man. Shame on you. Not even. I think, man, it needs to be some sort of action taken on that. And I'm not talking just action. I'm talking suspension, something. There's just what makes you think you could just. Situational awareness, man. Everything doesn't necessarily call for procedure. It doesn't. Everything isn't, procedure isn't necessary. It just isn't. In that case, I don't give a fuck it's not necessary. Why? Because he's telling you I'm a registered gun owner and I have a legally purchased firearm in my car. Could have handled that situation a whole hell of a lot better. Fuck procedure. Sometimes you need to know when to break the chain of command. Nah, we're not doing that. And because you didn't do that, and now it's become national news, it's not just boxing media that's covering this situation, man. I was listening to Tariq Nasheed today, and they talking about it on his platform. So this is national news. TMZ. It's a multitude of people that's talking about this situation. Because you didn't have no situational awareness. You just, you wanted to flex. You wanted to be the extra out ass police officer. All right, cool. Okay. Now look at you. We look to you more. Well, at least I don't. At least I'm supposed to, though. But most motherfuckers look to police officers to be mild-mannered and conflict resolvers, so we don't have to go. It doesn't have to be some sort of force. Because when you put too much force on the people, you're gonna meet resistance. Why go through that when we can de-escalate the situation? Y'all are supposed to have a better character, a better sense of judgment, high morale, high character, all of that shit. This is what we think police are supposed to coincide with. Our tax dollar pays you motherfuckers. But nah, man, you want to go and pull a burner in people's face, the champ's face of all people. This is why Bud isn't. We say Nebraska or whatever, yeah, but Bud is not. Bud is Omaha's champion, North Omaha in particular. North Omaha, Black Omaha. Because of situation, yo, man, hey, I'm not rich, I'm OJ. Like, that's not him. That's not him. He is still a champion of the people that he came up around, the people that he's a physical representation of. For y'all to do that shit, man, it's just like, this is despicable. This is despicable. You do all the good for the city. He's never disgraced Omaha. He's never turned his back on us. He's never said, well, I live out Vegas now, so I'm representing Vegas. He's like, man, people have tried to get me to leave Omaha and move over here and move over there and move over here. But no, I'm not doing that. This is home. When you were a kid, at least when I was growing up, people couldn't wait to get grown so they can get up out the fucking, breach these 402 borders. Because it's honestly more to life than Omaha. It's more to life than Omaha. I love my city, but it pales in comparison to these other big cities, man. Chicago is a 6.5 hour drive away from us, and it is a whole other world over there. Let alone, Miami, when you get to get into the palm trees, when, Miami, goddamn, California, Houston, Vegas, Seattle, Portland, New York, Philly, Boston, Atlanta, VA. Is so much more to life than Omaha, man. Just you want to get out there and you want to see that shit and see how they living out there. And when you get out there, you astonished. So for someone to have all of those traveling experiences and still say, I want to be rooted at home and my home base, which is Omaha, Nebraska. Go ahead, my nigga. I ain't tripping on that. Go ahead. Just that's a thing that should be celebrated in itself, man. Gabrielle Union don't rep us like that. Fucking what's shorty name, man? The girl who played on The Shy, man. I got a serious thing for her. That dark skinned sister, Yolanda Ross. She don't rep us like that. I think both, if I'm not mistaken, but I think, yeah, shorty went to North. I think, did Gabrielle Union go to North? I can't think, but my point is, they don't rep us like that. They don't rep us like that. Bud is a proud North Omaha native. And for you to sit there and act like you ain't know who this nigga was and use him telling you that he has a registered gun on him, for you to draw down on him and put guns on his face and tell him, don't reach for the gun, when both of his hands is up visibly in your face, man. You somebody who just needs to face severe punishment for that. They just gave that nigga the keys to the city that day, and you did that buster shit that night, bro. Man, that shit is unacceptable. That shit is unacceptable. And Coach Malachi said one of the, the little bitch talking about, just some Russian police or Russian officer. He's like, man, can you loosen up these cuffs, man? The cuffs too tight on me. And police, oh man, look at your shoulders, because Coach Malachi is he's a shorter dude, but that's a brolic nigga. Nah, man, look at your shoulders on some UBI shit. Them cuffs ain't that bad. Like, since when is human flesh ever been fucking tougher than metal? Like, man, can you just loosen the cuffs up? I'm not gonna run, man. Like, where I'm gonna run to? And the bitch gonna say, oh man, that's what they all say. They all say. A Russian motherfucker. A Russian woman with the nerve to project stereotypes, black male stereotypes on a motherfucker. Like, y'all ain't over there waging war, bombing the Ukrainians and shit. On a war that y'all perpetuated. It's just nerve and audacity for me all around, man. I just, I still haven't heard Kasim's side of the story. I've heard Coach Malachi's. I'm gonna definitely listen to Kasim's when they upload it tomorrow. But fuck OPD. That's the only thing I can say about it, man. Shout out to the champ. Shout out to his security team, Kasim. Shout out to Coach Malachi, man. Get Omaha Police Department the fuck up out of here. And that's all I gotta say about this shit, man. That's all I gotta say about this shit. Do better, you bitch ass niggas. I'm sliding through the turf right now, see if the homies is out. Go kick it with my niggas for a couple of minutes, man. I will get with y'all niggas later. Y'all stay righteous until then. I'm outie. Deuces.